Well, it's that time again. The ladies are here in the living room. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Laura.
It's episode 2 of The Valley.
Yes.
Oh, my. Jaxie, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought this episode was going to be a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be worse, too. I was expecting it to be like a big explosion between Jax and Brittany, but
it was still pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the worst thing that I've ever seen.
No.
You know what I mean?
It was terrible, but
Jax, I don't know. Listen, watching, if we get right into it, watching Jax all those years on Vanderpump Rules, right?
Yeah.
And seeing his patterns and listening to podcasts, like, I feel like I know this guy pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have an overall icky feeling about him, as do so many.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't take him seriously. I don't think he's taking any of this seriously, to be honest. I feel like he's acting. He's acting his way through this, which is terrible because he's not an actor. And I just really feel like that interaction between him and Brittany at their house when he was like, "You ruined my life." Like,
it was performative.
Yeah. And he's saying, "You ruined my life by making me go to rehab." He would have never gone to rehab if Brittany didn't push it, if Alex Baskin and the producers didn't push him.
Yeah.
You know, his sister didn't push him. Granted, he's trying to make it like, "Oh, I decided I had to go because of my son." No, you had to go because you would have lost your job. And she even said that on her podcast and back. So he's the saying, like, "You fucker. Like, I now have to change my whole life because of you." And he's not going because he really wants to get help. And for his son. He's such bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have one iota of empathy for this guy.
No. After watching it yesterday, I really don't.
The way he talks to her, the way that,
it's just like,
even the way
garbage.
Even the way he talked to Kristen, like, here comes Kristen Doty, all right? He's like, "You know life is bad when Kristen Doty is showing up at your house before noon to talk about your issues." Like,
he said that.
Life is bad. But like, Kristen is normal now, normal-ish. I mean, she's still going to play it up for reality TV, but at the end of the day, she's having a baby. She's normal.
She's mellowed out.
Yeah, she's, marrying old man Marley from Home Alone. Fine. But she's in a steady relationship. Like, she's normal. And when she's saying you can have all your feelings, you can have this, you just can't touch anybody. You can't throw things. But Jax is so freaking one note. He is one note, which is me, 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 me. What
narcissist.
About me, 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 me? I mean, that's all he said. Like, literally, she said, what you're doing to Brittany. And the first thing out of his mouth is to Kristen, "What about me?"
Yeah, I know.
What about me? That's his whole thing. When Brittany was getting married on Vanderpump Rules, and her father was sitting there in Tom Tom in the back, and he's like, "I just want to make sure you're going to put Brittany first and any future family you might have." And he's like, "What about me? I'm always going to be first."
Did he see? I didn't watch.
He said,
it then.
he's like, "What about me? I got to take care of me. Who's going to put me first?"
Yeah.
His whole thing is about me, and I really feel bad for Brittany. I mean, Brittany was blinded. I mean, she really was. But everyone told her, "You're the best woman, and you should have the best man, and you've picked the worst man."
Yeah,
I remember Stassi saying that, like, "You picked the worst man."
Yeah,
and she did. And all those things everybody told her about him were correct and real. And
but you know what it is? At the time, you love who you love. You can't say, "Well, why did you marry him? You knew what you were getting into."
She fell in love with his looks.
She fell in love with him.
With his looks. So that's, his blessing.
Those looks don't do it for me.
They don't do it for me either. But his looks were his blessing and his curse.
I guess.
But I don't understand. I don't think Jax was that hot. But again,
he's somebody's type. That's what he is.
Well, he was Brittany's type.
Yeah.
But he wasn't anything else. He didn't have anything else good to offer.
But he's so, sorry to say, he's so ugly on the inside. I guess that's what I'm seeing on the outside.
He's
with
horrible.
Him.
He's messed up.
He's kind of got these crazy eyes. He's got like a rage in him.
He's a pathological liar.
And maybe, do you think that those like crazy eyes and that look and stuff is because of the coke too? Like he's just got like that.
I don't know. No,
I think mention the coke in the episode yesterday, and I think it's never been said before. Right?
His sister, yep. And his sister said, look, there's mental illness in our family.
Yes.
Like, I think the mental illness
father
was there
had it.
first.
Yeah.
And all the craziness was there first, and he's turned to whatever to cope. But
Yeah.
I just don't think Jax has one narrative that he wants to push. Feel sorry for me. What about me? And I'm a great father. I'm a shitty husband. I'm a great father. No, you're not. You're not a great father.
Did you happen to take notice with that said that I know, Cruz has his things and everything, but he didn't look too happy to see Jax, right? Like he didn't like run to him. I don't know. Maybe it's just because, I don't know.
I'm not going to debate his day-to-day daddiness. My point being is doing that to the child's mother makes you a shit father, because the child is going to directly feel the effects of and especially a child on the spectrum, especially a child with autism, is going to take all of this in. This is the most important time, as we've said,
Absolutely.
as special needs moms. This is the most important
This is
time
a pivotal time in this
of his
child's
life when everything's happened, and to do that to his mother during this time. And I'm sorry, I don't think it's all. I'm sure he is out of control with the drugs, but Jax is so manipulated and calculating, and everything he does has something attached to it.
Yes.
Everything he says, he tells partial truths, to look good. All of that. I listened to Brittany's retorts, on that podcast, from his podcast he did with Alex Baskin, and then the podcast he did of him. I listened to all of it, and she's like, he's lying. She's like, that's Jax. He's a half truth teller. He tells half the truth. Like, she couldn't even mention up until this time that he was, coke, that he was on coke. I felt like last night when she said, you're on coke, Jax, and everybody knows you have a coke problem.
Yeah.
I feel like that was very similar to when Kyle kind of tweaked out for a minute and said, you're and an alcoholic to Kim. And they were trying to hide that the whole time. And I think Kyle was too. And then she just was like, and you're an alcoholic. It was the same thing, like, Jax, you're a coke. But and everyone knows it. It was the same type of.
Did you see that part too? He threw it back at her.
You
do
of course.
coke too?
Yeah, and she's
Come
like,
on.
we're going to take a drug test now. Which one of us is going to pass?
Exactly.
Sure, maybe she's done it a few times. And I'm sure
you're
the
LA,
one who offered
a lot of
it.
people dabble in it.
And
I know.
I'm sure you're the one who offered it to her. I'm sure she did it with you, you big
of course
freaking animal.
Yes.
Like that whole thing. I don't know, but all he is.
He's just, it's probably an overused term, but he really is such a narcissist, like a true narcissistic personality disorder.
The word is overused, but yes, he is. And he's also selfish. He's such a selfish prick.
Yeah, he is. Well, look at it. He's in that big empty house, and she's in an Airbnb with their son. Give me a break.
That was so disgusting.
I know.
I still can't believe that you took your autistic son, whose everything, by the way, is routine for these kids. Routine is everything. What they know, what's coming next is everything. Yeah. Now you've displaced him into a new home. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, they were in there for like almost 9 months till that piece of shit decided
to finally move out.
Right. And it's like his piece of shit friend Jesse. Like, holy piece of shit Jesse.
Another narcissist.
Although I have to say,
he's not as bad as Jax though.
Exactly. I do not have the vitriol yet for Jesse.
I don't.
That I do for Jax.
There's something with
I like to watch Jesse
that is slightly entertaining to watch.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's a good person. But there is something there that kind of takes you in a little bit.
He's just a good old-fashioned dick.
Yeah, he really
is. Just a dick.
Yeah,
and you're like, this guy is so good at being a dick.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And, Michelle is not good at being a dick. So when they're talking about, Isabella and the schedule and then the way, like, he gets under my skin.
Yeah.
But yet I find him enjoyable.
Yeah, he does. It is enjoyable. When they show their scenes, I'm tuned into it.
Because he's such good at being such a complete dickwad.
Yeah, he's a dick.
He's just
he's kind of open about it. Like, yeah, I am a dick.
Yeah.
Like he's not even trying to act like Jax would be. Like, I'm a great guy. I'm a great father. I'm a great this. I'm a great that.
Well, every man
with
wants
Jesse,
to think.
he's like, I just love to get a rise out of Michelle. And
yeah,
get her
well, the
upset.
fact that you could see Michelle going like, and he's like, well, who's going to be here when I drop Isabella off? He's like, you'll drop her off to the nanny, and she's like, what nanny?
Yeah,
she's like, you're the one who said about it. He's like, it doesn't matter what nanny. Like, he just knows how to turn screws. Like, I'm anxious watching him as much as I'm enjoying it. I'm anxious watching his like jacked up teeth, but yet he's good looking. Like, he's a little oxymoron. He likes all this expensive shit. Of course, by the way, I want you to know, he lives nowhere near the valley. He lives by the Chateau Marmont. Of course he lives over the hill. He wouldn't dare live in the valley.
Okay, so their house is... So where is the chateau? What town is that?
That's right on Sunset Boulevard, off Sunset. It's almost technically the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Almost. It's just a little different.
So it's a little bit nicer than the Valley?
Of course.
Okay.
But the Valley has nice parts. Is it nicer because it's cooler, because it's close to everything, like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, like
Sure.
the places that are considered more upscale. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is it 20 degrees cooler than the Valley? Yeah.
Right.
But like, is it nicer? Yeah, I would say so because I live there. Mm-hmm. But it's not. Like, there's very nice places in the Valley. It's just a different vibe. But I'm just saying, he's such a dick and so snobby. He wouldn't be caught dead living in the Valley, even if it was.
So I'm surprised he's on a show called
even
The
it was
Valley.
in an $8 million house. Well, he made it very clear in the first episode of The Valley that he lived by Chateau Marmont. Like,
maybe that's why he wouldn't leave
but
the
if
house.
you lived in LA, you would know that that's the sign of a true prick. Like, to be like, yeah, I live by the. No, I don't live in the Valley. Like, and the way that he said it, I was like, oh, well,
What
we know
did you
Jesse's an asshole.
If we go to the scene at his house, what did you think about this girlfriend that he has that's dating a guy from Baywatch?
Oh, this was so insane.
It
like,
was, and Sheena got
and how
in
the
there.
fuck would Sheena know?
They all have that circle of friends. So
Yeah, but they're all involved. They're all the same
they're
people.
all connected. Like, so
But she was like, I'm not going to protect her. But then this crazy woman is sending cease and desist. Poor
yeah,
Michelle.
that sounds. I
Michelle
feel bad for Michelle.
Michelle has no. Even though I'm not crazy about Michelle, because she's just kind of like a piece of like white toast. Like, she's not even toast. She's just white
a
bread.
Little flat.
She's just
slightly flat.
She's like a wet cracker. Okay. However, like just a cracker, like a saltine that's been wet, and you're like, I can't eat that, but I should have it in my chicken soup. Like, no. However, Michelle has zero dick energy. Like, she's got none. So for her to be going up, it's almost unfair for Jesse to be going after Michelle. Yeah. Because she really has nothing to give back. Like, nothing. You know what I mean? She was just like, well, call Sheena. And it was like, you want Sheena to fight your back? Like, Michelle's got no mean. She's just not like that.
But if he is dating a woman who is like this and her daughter is around this woman, then of course it's going to get her upset.
Course.
And you feel for her.
And when they were out to lunch.
Maybe Jesse knows, that's going to really get her upset if I'm dating this woman. So.
And then when they were out to lunch, out to dinner after, she got upset about it because, of course, it's around her daughter. And that daughter, unfortunately, is going to be just like her father. Well, she's already just like her dad. He's making sure. Her. But he's also making sure she's like him, which ain't so fucking nice, with dick wad energy. Yeah. And then I don't know about this guy. I mean, we only saw him once, but I've seen a few stills of this guy.
Is that his name, Aaron? Yeah.
He looks like he's just as much of a puff and a wet cracker as her.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, he just looks like.
I'm sure we're going to see more of this in the season, but
the freeze frames I've seen of him online, just like they're catching his expressions.
Yeah.
Like, off guard. He looks like he ain't going to be no match for Jesse either.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have to put up with that. Just by what I'm seeing,
he's pretty much like a blank face. He looks a little confused. He looks like, where am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Michelle, I don't think belongs on reality TV either. She's kind of like a Katie Maloney character. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to like Katie on Vanderpump after a while. Mm-hmm. You saw her ups and downs. But as far as her like personality, if they were just casting, I wouldn't have picked Katie Maloney. She just happened to be in that group. She happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right people in the right friend group to get on Vanderpump Rules. I think Michelle too.
She's going to be her and Brittany are going to be good for each other because they're both going through the exact same thing right now.
Yeah, no.
With the divorces. So I think that's going to be, that's a really strong storyline in the season. That's what it's going to be with them. Just like, I don't know if you saw Watch What Happens Live, but Nia and Kristen, they're both expecting babies.
They were cute
at the
within
same time,
like 7 days of each other.
Yeah. So, and they're really tight. So, within the friend group, there are like the tighter ones.
Oh, sure. And Kristen,
and it does seem like it's going to be a little divided.
and they're all against. I don't understand what Janet could possibly stir up against Nia. She seems like she's.
Yeah, I was curious.
She seems like
wow, like what happened? Unless Nia decided to side with Kristen and Zach.
She seems like she's as close to God as possible. I mean, she looks like an angel. So let's just assume she is. But her and Danny, I feel like, want to keep their hands clean. But the fact that she talked about
they got in the mess, it looks like, somehow.
No, but they moved to what I just saw on Watch What Happens Live last night that they moved to Santa Clarita. My husband grew up there in Santa Clarita.
He? Now, how is Santa Clarita? Is that
it's nice?
Is it like the valley?
But it's north. Yeah, it's deep into the valley. Now you're going like an hour. It's only 20 minutes from like where they are.
Okay.
Maybe a half hour. So it's not that far. But it's like an hour from where Jesse is.
Okay.
So you're that much further. So when you say like that, it's kind of out by, I forget it. What is it? Knott's Berry Farm or something is out there.
Okay. But it's nice, I'm sure.
It's nice. Yeah, sure. But it's like way out there in the valley. She's like, we bought a 5-bedroom house. Like, it's still expensive, but it's just not $5 million for a house. It's not $1 million for a condo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or
so because
1.5.
it's a little farther away.
You're still going to pay over $1 million for a house.
Yeah.
You just are going to pay maybe 1.3 as opposed to that same house in the valley where they are in Valley Village or over the hill in all those places. Valley Village, you're going to pay $2 million. In, Beverly Hills, all those places I mentioned that are back over the hill, like West Hollywood, you're paying between 3 and 6.
Sure.
Up to 30 million. I mean, it depends. So
it's all location.
It's all location,
it's
location,
probably
location.
like with here in New York where we live, we're like right outside of the city. But
so
if you go more north of where we are, it gets a little bit less.
Of course, right. So here it's uber expensive. Right. When you go an hour north, now you're like,
saving. You're not, like you said, you're not buying a $2 million house. You're buying
$1 million. It's like cut in half. Right. It's cut in half.
Yeah, it's cut
for the same thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And he,
did you want to also talk about the Janet and Zach situation? Because, Zach went over to Brittany's Airbnb and he was very upset about him and Brittany kind of lost the friendship a little bit.
I like Zach. Here's my problem though. He cries way too fucking much. Like, stop crying.
He is emotional.
Shut up and stop crying.
Yeah.
I like you, but don't keep doing that. Like, even Brittany, I kind of thought was a little bit over it. And they didn't really even talk about that he just said that I feel bad that we've kind of been split up a little by Janet, who's manipulative, kind of like Jax. And she was like, oh, stop. She is not. Then they were laughing by the end. So
yeah, they seem perfectly fine, which is good. I do like their friendship.
I do too. And I like him.
What are your thoughts on Janet right now?
I like Janet. I have not seen anything manipulative out of Janet.
No,
until I see otherwise. I'm holding space for Janet. I'm holding space for Janet.
And as much as I do like Kristen, because I really like Kristen,
I
Kristen. think she's in a wonderful place in her life.
Yeah, I'm
so
happy for her.
Yeah. I understand where Janet came from with this whole thing. So it's like I'm almost not taking a side. Well, I see both sides of it.
I do. And when Janet, by the way, said, when she said, when you're having a baby and you are, I think it's the most vulnerable time in a woman's life. Now, I think that. Maybe some women don't think that, but I think there is no more vulnerable time than when you are carrying your child in your belly and anything could happen, right? You could fall down the step. You could fall down the step, fall like you would on a normal day, and you could lose the baby. So my point being is, I understand where she's coming from when she says anything could happen. You're just praying that nothing happens, and that's for a total normal, healthy pregnancy. You don't know. A baby with anything could pop out.
Especially your first baby.
So when she said that, freaked me out, and I get I get that. And I really don't see, as much as I like Zach, I really didn't see him apologize for it. Like, that was a stupid thing to say. I really shouldn't have said that. Like, that's because I don't think Zach's a bad guy.
No,
I think he's nice
in
enough.
The heat of the moment, he blurted out, "I don't care." But it's still,
he was just mad.
Is it that being received?
Just make sure that you say at some point, Zach, and I hope he does. And this, like, that was shitty. ew, I should have never said that. Like,
Right.
but it was funny when he came over and he had the Chinese food and he's in the valley, which is probably like 120 degrees, and he's got a black hoodie on. And then she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Hiding my shame." I just thought that was funny.
Did you also notice, speaking of black hoodies, Jax was wearing that
He only wears black or white.
Yeah, and it says Jax is on it. But
Because he
I felt
sweats
like he was
like an
wearing
animal.
at like the whole episode.
But Jax's.
Jax's.
But he only wears black or white because he sweats like an animal. And now
Is that
we
right?
know
Oh,
he
okay.
sweats like an animal from the cocaine. That's coke makes
There
you
we
sweat.
go. Okay.
So he's now I don't know if he sweats on top of that. I'm gonna guess probably because he's a beast. Even his hands, they're so like gorilla paws. Like I am so
right.
turned off of this man. The way he was with her and then when she's like,
your heart really breaks for
when he was like,
Brittany.
she said something to the effect of like, you know, you need to get help, Jax. You know, you can't be like this. Our son can't grow up to be. He's like, you need to get help. Like anything. He's the worst.
He projects
ever.
it onto the other person,
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm this bad. You're this bad. You know?
Yeah.
And then he's like,
That's
absolutely.
like, it seems like it's his go-to.
Well, she was also pissed that he had the girl over there. I guess they, you know, she's like,
Oh,
why?
yeah, I
'Cause
mean-
the glass with the lipstick was in there. And she
And there was a thong in the bathroom.
and
Did
then
you
she
see
was
that?
like, oh, you know, don't kiss his face.
Yeah,
That was great. Don't kiss his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've showered and you had a girl over here. Don't kiss his face.
exactly.
I was like, ooh, I love that. That just shows her disgust.
Yes.
Like, do not touch my son's face, you disgusting animal pig. Who knows where your face was in this woman's crotch? Like, please. And then she was like, and then he was like, oh, do you have Julian over? Like,
yeah, this
your
Julian,
boy is in your arms.
Yeah.
Just go walk with him. Go somewhere with him. Walk away from it. Like, that's it. And that's it. He said goodbye to him in the corner. And I get it. Cruz is like a jiggly wiggly, you know, like a wiggly little woo of a kid. But like, that's your big goodbye. You're not going to see him for like,
I know.
why not go say
I
bye-bye
think it's
camera?
what you said. As much as he loves his son, we all know that, and he's a good father. Okay. He talks about it. What is he actually doing to be? I mean, I'm sure he's a good father.
Well,
fine,
here's what
but he's so self-absorbed. This guy.
Exactly. Here's what he's missing.
Yeah.
He loves his son. He's a loving father. Let's say that. He's someone who loves his child. Is he good at being a father right now? No, not at all.
Not when you're
He
treating
loves
the
him.
mother
So
like
he's
that.
mistaking the love that he has for him for being a good person or a good dad. You will only be a good father when you are sober for the rest of your life, when you are treating his mother with the respect that she deserves. And you have proven yourself at least for 2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is so far
Yeah.
from anything. So eat a little humble pie there, Jax. Eat a little crow. And by the way, I'm rooting for Jax because I'm rooting mostly for Brittany and I'm rooting for Cruz.
Cruz, of
So I'm
course.
rooting for him.
Just for that alone.
For that.
Yeah.
For to be the father that this man deserves. And he was going on these podcasts. I'm going to be the best ex-husband I've ever been. Really?
Yeah.
Not what I'm seeing here. And he's like, that's why he did all that damage control before this came out.
Yeah.
Because he was like, remember, it's a year later, I'm in a better place. No. No. Okay. Let me see that you're drug-free every Monday. Put it out there. If you're putting your whole life out there,
Yeah.
then let Brittany or somebody tell us
Yes.
how good you're doing because I want to root for you. But watching this is hideous.
And one more
Hideous.
thing with the whole Julian storyline. So this guy kind of sounds
like a
like
nothing.
he's not much, and he wasn't
Not
really good friends
nothing.
with Jax. I did watch the after show last week
You know
from
what?
the Valleys episode 1. And, you know, Lala and Brittany, they were saying, and a couple of other people were saying, they're not even good friends.
Do you know why Jax is pissed?
Yeah.
You want to know why he's pissed? Because he helped this guy get an agent.
Yeah, I know.
He said, I helped him get a manager. I helped him get an agent. That's all. What did he do? Like, call up his manager and say, hey, meet my friend, or send your headshot
Yeah.
to my manager? Like, dude, that's probably why he's freaking pissed.
Probably.
It's my friend. He's just playing up the angle.
Yes.
Because that's what Jax does. He's a half-truth teller.
Yes, he is.
So that whole thing and the way that he treated her, and did you see how psycho he was packing his bag? Like,
Yeah.
He's so OCD. He's got to pack his bag like perfect while he's yelling at Brittany.
Yeah.
And then where the fuck is Schwartz? This would have been great. And I love Schwartz. Schwartz is probably too much of a nervous wreck. Actually, it was better to have Jason take him.
Yeah, it was. I actually kind of like that Jason was the one that was
way more stable.
Very stable.
Than any of these could
Oh,
be.
God. I'm sorry, these other goofballs.
I know, these
Come
other.
on. Jason's like a real responsible man.
He's
you know?
an actual
And he
man.
helped Brittany. So it was good that he was the one that did.
I know.
take care
She's
of
like,
this.
where are you? She's like, he's
Yeah.
losing it. She's texting me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why the hell?
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was coming to pick her up. I didn't get that
At
he was.
first, that's what I thought too. I thought he was getting her for some reason. But it was just like, come be a mediator for a second. I'm getting out of here. You take him.
I don't know how much of it is, is really, guided by the producers because, like, was he just on his way over because that's the time he could get there? Where the producers telling him, Jason, hang out, and then when we tell you, come.
Probably that was probably.
But I don't know because she was texting you. You hear he's losing it, and he's like, I'm pulling up now. Like it almost seemed. It's all just too perfect timing, I guess.
Well, I think it was probably that they wanted to catch on camera the moment that Jax and Brittany were having with the fighting and everything. And it was probably like, don't come yet.
Yeah, but when he was
don't just like walk in or whatever. So that's probably when she texted him, that was probably like, okay, now I go.
And it's a big deal for her to have said that cocaine thing out loud, like we said before.
Yeah.
The same thing about the
She
alcoholic.
had to say
because
it,
she's
yeah.
been hiding that the whole time.
Yes.
She's been unable to say. Even when he went into rehab, and we all heard for the first time that he in real time while they were filming this that he went to rehab. I'm like, what is he in rehab for? That's weird. He's just in rehab for
It's like a mental
illness.
health facility. Did you hear
Right.
it's $30,000 for
hot
30
flash.
days?
Woof.
Ooh.
30. I did hear
30
that.
grand. That's $1,000 a day. Well, I mean, I have heard,
That's what my
and
son's
I'll just
camp
say
costs.
this. I've listened to some podcasts that he's done before this whole season aired, and he was saying it did wonders for him. So
He's
maybe
full
it
of shit.
should.
He
I
had to go
know.
back. He thought, because Brittany addressed this whole thing with Kristen on her podcast.
Yeah.
How he was not out a week and he was doing it again. And again, he had to be, he said, it was because of my son. No, it's because his job was threatened and
Yeah.
he was threatened again. He had to go back. It's not because he saw his son, and he went crazy over this Julian guy. No. And he
Yeah.
only went back for 17 days. Meanwhile, just a side note.
So he did 30 days and then he went back for 17 days?
And then he went back for 2 weeks or something.
Okay.
But just to throw an aside there, my son's camp that he's going to this summer is $1,000 a day. That's a special camp.
Wow.
But it's $1,000 a day.
Wow.
Which is why he's only going for 7 days.
Okay.
But
But that'll be some camp.
it's still 7. Well, because they have now this is a special needs place that takes care of his Prater Willie that he has, and it's a special place, and they have to have doctors and nurses and staff, and it's a whole thing. But I don't think it's very far off from regular camp. So this is like camp he needs. And it's like, Jax, you have the money. When Brittany, when he's like, I pay all the bills here. And she's like, screw you. I put the same amount of money. He's like, you don't pay the mortgage. She's like, I pay all the bills. I pay the property taxes.
So, like I do this, I do that. What about me? I'm so sick of him. You know what? Him being away in this mental health facility, we'll get maybe a few episodes break from this
Brittany
guy.
was like,
I
thank
think
God.
we all need a break. She needs a break. She said that.
She's like, you don't know how
we all need a break
happy
from
I
Jax.
am.
The viewers need a break from Jax.
For him to
So-
be, she was terrified good reason because, and even when Bucco, I love Bucco, Danny and Jason come over
It was like
okay.
he said it felt like an intervention.
Yeah, it's like I watch Intervention. By the way, shout out to my boy Sam, my friend Sam Etler, who's the creator of Intervention. Hi, Sam. But yeah, he's like, I love the show, but I never thought I'd be on it. Well, you're not on it, but
yeah.
you kind of are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, rooting for Jax, but this is
It's what you said. I guess I'm rooting for him because I'm rooting for Brittany and Cruz.
Of course.
And
I'm rooting for Brittany.
Thrilled for Brittany that he went away to this facility so she gets a little peace of mind and a break.
but
now
then,
she can focus on her life a little more and the friend group.
But
and
then
the show.
Thanksgiving comes, and he comes out before Thanksgiving, and she's cooking for 15 people, and he's like, it's my fucking house. I'm coming over. This whole thing. They talked about it on all these podcasts.
That's
I don't know if it gets
terrible.
shown on the show because I don't know if they were filming
They
on
might have been
Thanksgiving.
done by then.
But I don't know. But she was like, she was having a big
terrible.
Friendsgiving and cooking for everybody. And she's like, Jax is now threatening to come over. Listen, of course, we're rooting for Jax because we're rooting. the better Jax's life is, the better Brittany's life is,
Yes.
the better Cruz's life
The
is.
better person he is, the better for them.
Or the more mentally well,
Yeah.
free of substance, whatever it is,
Yes.
drugs and all of it.
Yeah.
So, Jaxie boy,
Well,
not good.
Yeah,
Not good. Not cute.
It was a heavy episode, but it's still a very good start for season 2.
There's a lot going on, and
There's
I
a
also,
lot going on.
I also feel bad for Brittany's family having to see that, like,
Of
and they
course.
all warned her
and
off.
I think
you know?
that I think Brittany had said that the mom and Meemaw, right? They kind of liked him.
Mamaw.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
excuse me. I want to also say they had on Jax's restaurant, his bar.
Oh, I saw
They had
this.
Mamaw's beer cheese,
and she had to take it off.
Wait, you know
or
how
he
they-
had to cross it out?
he crossed it out with a Sharpie. You couldn't even print out a new freaking menu. You
Yeah.
buffoon.
Was he cheap?
You idiot. He's stupid. Not only is he cheap,
It
he's
doesn't look
stupid.
good. Yeah.
Just take it off the menu, you
Take
big
it off.
dumb
Well,
idiot.
Brittany said she has the rights to it. Why
Yeah,
should he
Mamaw's
have
beer.
it?
She's like, I'll take care of Mamaw.
Yeah,
And beer
exactly.
cheese.
But okay,
And
one
apparently
more
it was horrible. Too.
One more question. Brits she was supposed to open her own place up, Brits.
Yeah, it's
and
not
that got
happening.
yanked out. What
It
happened
fell
there?
through. I don't know, but it
Okay.
was the same
I'm
people.
wondering if it had to do with Jax.
I don't know. I mean, they're not putting any of their own money in, which is amazing.
Oh wow.
So Jax put none of his own money.
So
all
all
he has to do is
partners?
show up and promote the place. That's all he has to
Oh.
do. Did you shut it off?
No.
We thought we almost had a mic.
I almost thought I had a mic moment, guys.
So the Valley, that was it. So we're gonna obviously we're tuning in next week.
We're very tuned in.
All right. So we know it is a year
You
later,
want
and
to
I
hop
hope.
over to Atlanta?
Yeah, let's hop over to Atlanta. Hotlanta.
Hotlanta.
These ladies are funny, man.
Oh,
They're
are
insane
funny.
and they're funny.
They are funny.
The first time I turn it on, right? I have to go to my little note, but we turn it on and it's Brit buying a car, and that
A
weird-
$458,000 car? Was that right?
I don't even know what kind of car it was.
think
That
it was
I
a
missed.
Ferrari.
She's like, "Is this in my budget?" Wait, but
I think it was a Ferrari.
but she's like, she puts her leg up, and you just see Mike put your leg down, and I'm just like,
you know,
who
what?
is this zero?
I'm starting to feel sorry for the husband.
Oh no, I'm not.
Okay.
I just think
no, because I just think that this girl is a nightmare.
no, I don't feel sorry. I think he's
don't
the
like
biggest hanger on or loser. What is he doing? She's like, well, it ain't. We can't buy a car if you can't have sex in the car. It fits, honey.
Yeah.
That's why she was putting her leg up. Ew on her
Ew,
part.
disgusting.
Ew on his part. Like, what are you doing? Ew. This
Yeah.
couple. Ew.
Well, if she's trying to move away from a little sexual controversy, you don't say something
Well,
like
I'm sure they
that.
filmed it probably before.
I'm not going to buy a car you can't have sex
I'm
in.
sure that. Yeah. She's like, we got to make sure, honey.
Her,
He doesn't.
her and her stuffed up nose.
Yeah. Oh God. And he
that
doesn't.
nose, but that voice drives me crazy.
Yeah, her voice is. It's.
I'm
completely
sorry, it's hard
stopped
to.
up. She
it's
doesn't
hard
have
to
any
listen to her.
nasal passages.
She has no airwaves in her nose.
She probably snores like a mother, which I've said before.
She probably. What are those things? Those breathing things? Those machines you have to wear?
Oh, the CPAP. I don't
She
even think
probably
they'd
wears
help.
that.
Because when she talks, she's talking like this because it's so narrow.
Yeah, very.
I loved Shamea's at some point. These are just things I'm writing down. Shamea had on a green Louis Vuitton jacket. She looked like a little Louis Vuitton leprechaun. I was like, she looks great, Matt. Shamea's like,
I do like her style though. I really do. I just like her.
I love Shamea. She's my favorite.
I
By
think she's
far.
my favorite too.
She's my
I don't know.
favorite.
She's another one. Like we were saying this about Bows. Like she's like a little bit of a breath of fresh air.
She's great.
You know,
I like her.
do
a lot.
like her. Did you notice? I wrote this down too. Drew had a Cosmo clutch bag. Did you see that?
A Cosmo. What do you mean? Oh, Cosmo.
She had like
what?
a clutch bag that was shaped like a Cosmo.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
A $4,000 bag. What was? I don't know what.
Who had that? Drew.
Drew. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. To
So,
see.
she's bitching Brit about Angela because of her. She's calling her a porn star escort. She's
Yeah.
like, no, I did not. She's like, we just did funny stuff for a week when I was a kid or whatever. They did
Right.
some-
She says Angela lacks empathy.
some cams and all this stuff.
But then
But
Brit
her
is coming
job's-
out with this baby drama with Charles Oakley, possibly.
Oh my God. She's like, I heard Charles had a baby on her. I'm like, when Angela gets wind of that, she is going to lose her mind. Or him.
Yeah.
He looks like the devil. When she FaceTimed him.
Whoa. Well, I think I mentioned this. My husband Dan met Charles Oakley, and he said he is not nice.
He
like,
comes
he's a
off
really
like a complete douchebag.
Not nice person. So I don't know. He just seems
with
like a dick.
The shittiest,
Another dick.
with the shittiest car wash.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
car wash is so shitty. They use
the dirty rag car
rags.
The dirty
they
rag
use
car wash.
Dirty rags. I went there once and I was like, "What is happening?" They left
Yeah.
my roof open. Their water got on the seat.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
what is this? Terrible car wash.
Terrible.
And I didn't know who Oakley was.
Oakley's
so
car wash. We've been there. It's in New York. It's terrible.
on Central Avenue in Yonkers.
Yonkers.
Let me
Blech.
tell you, not great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I think Angela's gonna go ape, or maybe she's not. Maybe she's just gonna fess right up to it.
She's very composed, though.
She
so
is.
she might be able to handle this okay, but that's definitely coming out. So what are you thinking about?
Brit wants to not Brit. She invited Drew for a drink, right? And they were talking about divorce, but Portia,
she's trying to get like a little bit of a friendship going with these ladies.
Yeah,
so I mean,
Portia,
she's friends with Kelly right now, but I guess she's trying to be. She knows she knows Drew and Kenya are good friends.
Portia wants to move on from the Drew drama.
Yeah,
that much I got out of it, like the whole Dennis shit. But at the end, there's some other shit
with Portia and Drew.
Yeah, but now how's that going to happen? Because at the end of the episode, she's saying that they're saying that Drew sucked Dennis's dick.
Yeah,
and
now, where did that come from?
And she's like, oh wait. And Portia's like, that is on point though, because he does like fellatio. Yeah. She's like, that's how he keeps his body count down. Because she's like, oh yeah. She gave me head. He gave me head. She gave me head. She's like, so that does sound on point with Dennis. So I don't know. Was it from?
I could see something is going on possibly between Drew and Dennis.
That she just sucked his dick.
It. Why do they all of a sudden have this little alliance going on? He's not just her producer.
I know, yeah.
Dennis and Drew. I don't know.
Well, she wanted to stay home, and he sent her a bottle because she stayed home from Portia's Nashville trip because for one night to celebrate her record deal, and he sent her a bottle, and then they FaceTimed. And that was Dennis.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a little sketcheroony going on
she's
there.
Really just trying to create drama for a storyline. I don't know. Right?
I don't know who came up with that, though.
I don't know.
So Angela, the fact that Angela,
she's a little pot stir.
the fact that she invited Drew,
I know.
when Portia was just like, I don't think so.
Yeah, she knew that was going to stir the pot. I was kind of surprised that she did that. You know, she knows that Portia doesn't like Drew.
And she was just
she
like,
invited her as a plus one.
Okay. She was like, and then Portia's like, I ain't being bad about it. I ain't being mad about it. And she's like, what's wrong with the glue on your wig? Portia was screaming at her, what's the matter with you?
You know what it is? I think that Portia was the one that kind of started the wheels turning about Charles Oakley having a baby with somebody else. She didn't come out and say that to Angela, but she says, I've got some goods on you and your husband. So I think that's maybe why. That's Angela's little way of revenge.
Oh, my God.
Maybe that's it.
I thought it was funny, though, that now she's going to show up. And I don't know, but what was even funnier? I think the funniest part of this entire freaking episode for me was when Brit sits down with Drew, and Drew's just like, I got some serious questions I need answered. Okay, I just got questions I need answered. And then they sit down, and the first question is, so, have you ever sold the cat? I almost died. I was like, is she asking her if she's ever sold her pussy right now? So have you ever sold the cat?
Don't you love the way they say these things? Oh my
dying.
God.
I literally was howling out loud. The tears were streaming down my face.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, yeah, me and my friend, we did the webcam for a week when we were like in our 20s. And she's not done porn. And she's like, Drew wants real answers. But these are the hard-hitting questions.
This is great.
Have you ever sold the cat?
That was great.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then there was basically, and then them all heading to Nashville where they were all trying to get up
Cowboy Carter theme party.
They were all trying to get their heels up the stairs on the airplane. You know, it's all spikes and holes.
I know.
Them all trying.
Well, I think little Kelly, because she's so
I love
tiny,
little
her
Kelly.
heels were probably like this.
Oh, and then Shamea, when they're walking around this gorgeous house that they're staying in, I love.
Yeah,
Portia's
it
like,
was a beautiful
okay.
house.
Portia's like, this is gonna be my room. This is gonna be, and then when she's showing them around the house, the rest of the house, Shamea gets on the bed and starts humping the bed, and she's like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be my room because I'm the BF. This is gonna be my room. But she starts to hump the bed. I'm like,
Well, she
this
had a
is
Chris in the
so
bed. Like nobody's getting
Well,
this
I
bed.
wouldn't want to be on the bed after she was
that,
humping the
I
bed.
wouldn't
But I'm like,
either.
she is freaking hysterical.
No,
These
she
women
really is,
make
yeah.
me pee my pants.
Yes.
With the shit. Have you ever sold the cat?
You know what I wouldn't have been happy with though? I wouldn't have been happy with that attic room. Who got that? Brit and Kelly?
All of them in the room?
Oh God!
wouldn't have
really, it was
minded.
like little row of beds. I'm just saying that was a gorgeous house.
It was
I
a
wouldn't
gorgeous
have wanted
house.
that
I wouldn't have
room.
wanted
I
that
would've-
either.
Would like to have my own.
And
room.
she left Angela with 2 beds. She's like, not only she. Oh no, Drew. She goes, not only have I been cool about Drew. She's like, I left her 2 beds, not
Yeah.
one but 2 beds.
Yeah, too bad. The
And
bunk bed.
But it was just
That was
funny.
great.
So wait, so we have Drew didn't show up yet, right? That's
No,
next week.
she's still doing her mini celebration with her sister when they called
These
Dennis.
ladies are freaking.
No, wait, was Drew?
funny.
Drew wasn't in Nashville when they were showing Drew, right? She was at
No,
some
she was
other-
at the club
was
celebrating.
the
She
club,
stayed
right.
home because of her whole
Yeah, that was
divorce
it.
thing with
Yes,
Ralph,
with
and
Ralph.
she was upset. And I don't know,
He's
but
still living in the basement, by the way.
I loved though.
Yeah.
Just another thing that made me giggle. I love that Ralph's attorney's name is Precious. Precious. They're like Precious. Ralph's attorney, and I'm like, what? Precious.
You know what? I didn't catch
I
that.
caught it. I was like,
Oh,
I'm laughing at
that's
Precious.
great.
And meanwhile, she's like, I don't understand. So
Precious.
he's like, I don't have to leave. He's all excited. He gets to stay in their freaking basement.
Sure.
And they're unsealing the records. And they're like, why are you so worried? And she's like, well, I'm worried for my kids. I'm sure she is worried for her kids, but there might be something about her in those records when they unseal the divorce. She wanted it to say sealed.
Okay.
True, but
So
it became
now they are
unsealed.
unsealed.
Right. He's still in the basement. He's thrilled. He living it. She's like, you deranged.
He,
I was like,
he
you
gets
crazy.
his own confessionals. Did you notice that?
Wait,
he gets his own confessionals. Ralph.
Excuse me, Ralph.
Yeah.
With his clutch black double-breasted suit with the big fat gold chain with no shirt. I'm like, is he gonna have a nip slip? Like the 2 girls, like Kelly and the other one, who are
Yeah.
gonna have a nip slip.
Yeah.
Remember they said something about seeing Angela in Neiman Marcus or something when they were shopping? They're
Yes,
like, oh,
and she didn't look good. Like she
they
looked
were like,
disheveled.
oh damn, she had glasses on, she had no makeup, and she was like, ah, what are you doing? She ran into clothes. She ran into the clothes.
Well, that leads into something else
these
we were going
women
to
make
talk
me
about
pee.
because she apparently had some kind of Botox
Oh,
surgery
right.
to make her nose look not as narrow.
Yeah, the
right?
No, she said after her surgery, they said to her, "You got to get Botox to blow it up a little because it looks."
Oh,
too,
okay.
I guess because Botox will make you swell.
Yeah,
a little
right,
bit.
right,
So, like, to
right.
give it
She
some
needed
girth.
to give it a little, yeah.
To not have her looking like
give it
Michael
girth?
Jackson.
Is that what
Yeah,
you're-
well, I'm saying girth, like to give it a little. Widen it up to make it look like that's
good.
not Michael Jackson.
I
know?
think she looks fabulous. I think she's beautiful.
I think-
So
I
good
like
for
her, too.
She looks great. It's okay.
And she's like, well, I was happy to see you in Neiman Marcus because I'm not fake. If I show you love, that means I'm giving you love. I was like, oh,
But
my
I think
God.
when she says that, she really means it.
I
really
believe her
do.
too.
I
I
don't
believe
think she's
her.
just saying
I'm just
BS.
unhappy that she's married to this total dickwad.
Oh God, no!
Like,
I don't like
Dick Patrol.
Yeah,
Like,
really.
eek.
Yeah, she's a good woman. She's a good wife.
She's a
lucky he has
good
her.
woman.
Oh my God, he's lucky he has her.
So anyway, that's our
Okay.
girls from
No, because
Atlanta.
I think
They make
that
me pee
in terms
my
of this
pants.
cast, I think Shamea, Angela, and Kelly, I really like them.
They are good additions.
They are really
Brit,
good.
I don't
Portia's
know.
great, but
Portia's
Portia's the
Portia.
mainstay.
She's good.
She's Portia.
Kenya. Oh, Cynthia, I love. Cynthia's always
Oh,
got
I
something
love
good to say.
Cynthia. Yeah, she's a perfect
Love
friend of
Cynthia.
I
She's
would
great.
say.
Yeah,
she's
she is.
Great. She's great.
And we'll
Yeah.
see what the ladies got.
Good
but
cast.
they,
Good
they
job,
make
Atlanta.
me laugh.
Yeah, they do make me laugh.
So-
It's extremely entertaining. Now, Dan, my husband, Dan, he's not a big Housewives person. He likes this one.
Because they're funny.
He's like, oh, Atlanta's on?
They're
Oh, I want to watch
hysterical.
it. They're hysterical.
because the hard hitting questions of have you ever sold a cat come out. Have you ever sold the cat? That's gonna be my new go-to for anything.
Yes.
Anything that comes up with anybody, I'm just gonna stop and go, have you ever sold a cat?
Now, one more question.
Yeah, and then we
because
got
I
rock.
didn't see it yet. Did you see Kenya? She did a YouTube on what the fallout of everything.
I
that
have
happened.
not seen it, but we are
Okay.
going for the next time. We will get on that.
We got to watch. It's about 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I'll get on that and watch it. But I did see her again with Tamron Hall, and she was like
Okay.
being contrite. So we'll leave it there,
I would
ladies and
expect
gents.
nothing else from Kenya.
Kenya's
so.
going to know how to. I just hope she comes back. And I'm
do
waiting
I.
with bated breath for my favorite.
Oh, of
Phaedra.
course.
Queen Phaedra. Come.
They're already showing
Come back,
her in
Phaedra.
some commercials. During
cannot
the
wait.
Housewife shows. So
Fave
we
of
know
all
she's
time.
coming.
Fave of all time.
Love her.
All right. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you,
to
everybody.
the ladies in the living room. We are here as always, and check us out on Littler Podcast and on YouTube at Ladies in the Living Room. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.